The Regional Economic Outlook Report for Sub-Saharan Africa is published twice annually in April and October by the IMF Africa Department. The report provides a cross-country analysis of economic development and policy options for policymakers. The Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, C.D. Keita, said economies are seriously affected by the impact of COVID-19, global instability, inflation, and high exchange rates. However, he said, the Gambia is focused on local resource mobilization to ensure economic stability.
The global economy appears to be poised for recovery from the devastating impact of the COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine war. Growth is recovering, but at a subdued rate of 2.8% this year, with emerging markets and developing countries powering further ahead compared to the developed world. Inflation is expected to decline mildly in the developed world from 8.7% to 7%, but the reverse in the emerging markets, as we are dealing with the shocks of the impact of the stimulus that was ushered in to address to the crisis.
Held on the theme, the big funding squeeze, the report, according to the IMF resident representative, Mamadou Julde Barry, also looked into geo-economic fragmentation and managing exchange rate pressures, among other things.
The report shows how the legacy of recent crises, translating into persistent global inflation, tighter monetary policy, and exchange rate pressure, is raising borrowing costs for Sub-Saharan Africa at a time of elevated economic difficulties, hence interrupting the recovery and undermining development prospects. Many countries are unable to allocate much-needed resources to critical development sectors like health, education, and infrastructure, which is weakening the region's growth potential.
The governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, Mbye Sedi, disclosed that economic shocks continue to threaten economic growth over the last decade. They, however, present an opportunity to undertake necessary economic reforms, he added.
The shocks continue to threaten to erase the hard-won gains achieved over the last decade. In particular, the high and persistent global inflation is not only eroding the purchasing power of households, but together with tight monetary policy stance of the central bank, the cost of borrowing has increased dramatically. The challenges also present an opportunity for countries to undertake necessary reforms that will enhance economic competitiveness, boost investor confidence, and attract capital inflows.
The managing director of Standard Chartered Bank, the Gambia, Chuks Oga, reiterated that despite challenging financial conditions around the region, the Gambia has a very stable financial system.
I can't emphasize this enough. On the back of all the things that we've heard that has happened in OECD countries, we've heard about the Silicon Valley Bank, we've heard about the various banks that have had bankruptcy issues, liquidity issues, capital management issues. Our country has a very sound financial system.
The outlook also emphasized the need to mitigate the impact of climate change as one of the leading factors affecting the region's economy. Alhagie Mbye, GRTS News.